What's up, everyone? This is Kenya. I am the creator of all things Loop. And if you did not know, Loop stands for Live It, Own It, Obtain It on Purpose. Our mission is to put your purpose on display. We connect with leaders and influencers of color across all industries, giving space to their voices and celebrating the power that lives within their story. And I'm super excited because y'all, life has been really for real life and for me. I have not been back since what? The Black Excellence, 28 days of Black Excellence. And I was like, okay, what am I going to do for the people? Like, I've came out in January. What am I going to do? And so if no one knows, I have a little one. I cannot be like real consistent, like doing things like, other people can, but I came up with a very, very cool idea. And I think you guys will appreciate it, that I'm going to do like a mini magazine where I'm going to do a cover story, a feature of some sort, and surrounding around a theme, and then a countdown. And so today is the first day, and this is the cover story for June. And I'm going to do a double release. But today we have DJ Ron Steele. We're going to do his cover story. So he's here. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much, Kenya, for having me. This is the first time I've ever done an interview like
Oh, so
this.
we first,
So,
first. So we
yes,
first, huh?
yes. So I'm extremely excited to get the
Yeah.
ball rolling.
No, thank you so much for even saying yes. So I have to shout out my friend Renika, because she is the one that connected us together. I saw you at her wedding, and when she put you down, I think you saw my comment. I was like, "Is this the one that was at your wedding?" And she was like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Yo, he was dope." I was, I haven't danced like that in a long time.
That's
So
awesome. Yes,
thank you so much, Renika, for connecting us. Is this gonna be a really good one, I believe.
for sure.
So tell me, how did you get started in your industry, like DJing? Like, where did this passion come from?
Well, to be honest, I didn't really get into DJing into the latter part of my 20s, probably when I was 25.
Mhm,
I've always been into drumming. I was groomed into playing the drums, right? So
mhm,
playing in the drums at church allowed me to join the marching band in high
mhm,
school. And then once I joined the marching band in high school, I understood that, hey, this can actually give me a scholarship if I
mhm.
worked hard at it, which it did. That's where I actually met Renika at Central
Yeah.
State University. So I was able to get a band scholarship there, and went through college. And once I got out of college, came back home, started working a 9 to 5, and then I believe probably the year was 2012. So this is
Mhm,
like 5 or 6 years after college. My mom asked me if I can find a DJ for my sister's graduation party. And I'm like,
mhm.
okay. I looked at my phone and I'm like, you know what? I don't know a DJ personally who I could
Wow.
just call. Right. So
Right.
I looked, I saw that I had a computer with a bunch of songs on it. I went to the Guitar Center that day, purchased a little small DJ system that was probably $250, and then went home and I grinded, and I saw that the drumming that I mentioned earlier, that I knew all of my life, kind of coincided with mixing
Mhm.
and DJing, and it was fairly easy for me to kind of catch on and teach myself how to do. And when I did the event for my sister's graduation, it was just like a it was just like a ball that just kept rolling and
Mhm.
growing like a snowball. So
Yeah.
there, as I'm still teaching myself how to DJ. One of her friends, which was pregnant at the time, she saw me, she's like, hey, can you DJ my baby shower? And
Wow.
literally, I
A
kid
ripple
you not,
effect. A ripple
it was
effect.
just a huge ripple effect. And
Wow.
that's what kind of led me to this passion
Mhm.
that grew from just a hobby into actually what I do for a living now. So it's been definitely a huge success for me. I wish I would have known this talent
Right.
earlier, you know what I mean, because who knows where I would have been now. But like
Yes.
everyone said, like God gives you
Mhm.
what you need in the right moment. So he
Yeah.
felt that I guess I wasn't ready to to get fed with this talent as early as I wanted to, or maybe think I wanted to. So everything kind of worked out the way it did.
Wow. And how long have you been DJing? I know you said 2012, but
Yes, yes. So right,
periods.
exactly. So 2012 was the first year in which I
Wow.
did started DJing. Like, or even like giving it a thought, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like I've seen DJs
Yeah.
through college and even after that, go through parties and kind of see, but I never really gave it a thought of that something that I wanted to do
Mhm.
until I actually did it. Now when I first started DJing in 2012, it was always simply just a hobby, right?
Yeah.
Once we got probably 3 years after that, 20 no so 2012, excuse me, let me go back. So 2012, I like when all of that was going on, I did my cousin's wedding as well
Mhm.
that same year, and in 2012, and it's still at that time wasn't nothing that I thought that I can do for a living, but
Yeah.
once I did that wedding, everyone had a great time. Every like the
Wow.
flow of it was on point, so I kind of felt that, okay, this can kind of be something. Well, in 2015, 2016, around that area is when I was introduced to this particular Facebook group.
Mhm.
Shout out to Facebook and social media, which
Wow.
kind of helps us all in certain situations. But for
Mhm.
me, this particular group in Facebook is called Wedding. It's just simply called Wedding DJs, which
Mhm.
is DJs who specifically does weddings all around the country, even around the world. I know some in Canada and some even overseas who are all in this group, right? So I was able to join this group and kind of just see the different things that are out there, that or just kind of see other people who
Mhm.
are doing this for a living, and which kind of gave me an idea like, wow, wait a minute, this is actually something that you can do,
Yeah.
for a living. I didn't really think of it like that. So
Yeah.
so during that time, I was able to kind of see the different things as far as equipment and how people kind of do things to kind of market themselves. And then from that moment, probably 2015 all the way up until about 2018, those 3 years I just spent a lot of my extra money just buying equipment, right?
Wow.
So I was able to kind of build up my inventory, because DJ equipment is definitely expensive. So so I mean, that's to anyone who wants to get into anything. Cameron, you got,
Yeah.
it's equipment is definitely expensive, and this is prior to the pandemic. So
Mhm.
I'm buying up everything. I'm buying up a bunch of things, and then I'm like, man, okay, I kind of see. And what really triggered it for me, to
Mhm.
be honest with you, is I was invited to a Polish wedding, right?
Wow.
It was a coworker of mine, um, at my 9 to 5 at the time, and I went to his wedding and I observed pretty much everything. I was kind of the only black person there, to be honest with you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Pol- Polish weddings are dope, by the way. They have a vodka bottle at every
Uh-huh.
table with the open bar. They just make sure that every all of their guests have fun. But
Okay.
but on the flip side, so I checked their DJ out. Their DJ, obviously, he was Polish descent
Mhm.
as well. He had all of the glitz and glamour. I mean, like, he looked professional with his lights, with the type of equipment he had, even what he wore. He was
Mhm.
sharp. He looked the par, but he really wasn't that good at mixing. He really
Mhm.
wasn't that good at song selection. So I'm like, okay, I can see why they hired him,
Yeah.
because he has the proper equipment and everything
Right.
like that. And, he was able to give them the songs that they want, but he wasn't really that good at mixing. And then following that wedding, I went to an all black wedding, right?
Yeah.
So I went to an all black wedding and I observed the same thing as far as the DJ. And what I saw in the DJ is this DJ had the party rocking. He was
Yeah.
really, really good as far as his song selection and his mixing. He was on point. but the look wasn't there. He did not
Mm.
have
It's a difference. It's a
it
difference.
was a huge difference.
Yeah.
I think he wore a t-shirt. He didn't really look the part.
Mhm.
He didn't have the glitz and glamour. It was just the sound. So what I did, I said, if I could just take both of
Both
those,
of them. Yeah, absolutely.
put them together, I can crack open a market. And I kid you not, like once I kind of did that, I
Mhm.
never looked back.
Wow.
I never looked back. So from that point on, like my main thing was, okay, now now that I have an idea, I was able to buy all of this gear. How do I um start getting gigs, or how do I
Yeah.
start marketing myself to weddings? And another thing, Facebook, and I just, thank God as well for just like having a family who has, different friends. Facebook and social media is still to this day my most is how I get my most
Wow.
work, you
Mhm.
know.
Yeah.
So uh, a young lady who graduated with my sister from high school, she reached out to me and she says, yeah, I'm having a wedding. I see you are DJing and things like that. And I believe at the time I really wanted it to do a big production, because I
Mhm.
felt that once I'm able to do a big production, and gather the data as far as having a photographer take good pictures and everything like that. And once I have that, then that will open the door for other people to see that I can actually take on
Mhm.
the job. So
Yeah.
I really, really lowballed her. I told her,
Wow.
I gave her a beautiful number of, I believe, like $400,
Oh, she took that
$450.
real quick. She
She
took that
took
real
it
quick.
she took it real quick.
I don't care what kind of songs you play. Well, I want you to play because $400, listen.
Exactly, Kenya, exactly. So, I mean, but at the time, for me, it wasn't about the money. It
Yeah.
was like I saw that it was a passion. It was all about, okay, let me just grow and just do this thing.
Mhm.
I really wanted to do that production. So what I end up doing, I mean, I put in literally like 13 plus hours that day. Her wedding was on
Wow.
a Monday. I'll never forget it. It was on a Monday because I believe she saved a ton of money having it on a Monday, by the way,
Absolutely.
for the venue.
Wait a minute, so she saved a lot of money on the on having it on Monday. Then she got a $400 DJ. She came out real good. Real good. Real good.
She's totally smart for that. She's totally
Yes, she
smart.
is. Yes, she is.
So she had this wedding. Like I said, I put in 13 hours. And once I saw how crazy I was about this passion, Kenya,
Mhm.
I did this wedding. Like I said, I put in 13 hours. So I prepared for the wedding maybe around 11 a.m., packing up, the truck and doing all of that, making sure that I have everything I need, getting to the wedding early enough to set up,
Mhm.
do sound
Yeah.
check, and just to make it, just to be done with everything right before the ceremony started, and then we go all the way until maybe 10, 11 o'clock.
That's a
And
long day.
exactly, a very long day. And then for me to, after that, the DJ is the first one there and the last one to leave. That's why I tell all
Mhm.
my clients, right? So once everyone's there, packing up my stuff, and then I go home, you would think that I just go right in the bed. Nope, I went right in my basement, opened up YouTube, and figured out what I could even do better. That's when I knew, I'm like, this dude, I'm crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
This is it. I done
this is
got it.
it. This is
Yes.
it. This is it. So I mean, I could, I'm going on and on about it, but
No, I love it.
that's literally how everything for me kind of turned out. And
Mhm.
once I was able to do that wedding in 2018, I believe
Mhm.
October 2018, I'm like, okay, this is it. She got married October 2018. And then at the time I'm still working, and but my funds, aren't really there. I still have, like, I'm married at this time. I have
Mhm.
one kid,
Mhm.
while I'm doing this, and I'm like, okay, I need to invest more, but I don't have the funds. So my mom, thank goodness for my mom as well. I'm like, Mom, I have this there's this wedding expo coming up in January of 2019, going from October to January of 2019. I'm like, Mom, I
Mhm.
really need to invest in this. If you could front me the money, I promise things will come out of it. And once she did that, she fronted me, I believe it was probably like $1,000 at the time. I rented
Mhm.
this 10 by 10 booth. at one of the biggest at one of the biggest wedding expos in the Chicagoland area. I was able to do that, and that pretty much really opened the door for me, and it changed my entire life.
Wow.
There, I was able to meet peers like myself who who has business, who's been in this business for for decades and in the area, and as well as venue owners, just meet different people in the wedding industry to understand how it really works,
Mhm.
and how a wedding DJ does more than just spin. You kind of have to
Yeah.
know all aspects. You almost are is like a coordinator, if you will. So
Yeah.
that's another service in which I added to my plate,
Wow.
since then. But yeah, definitely I was able to meet um one owner in particular of a wedding company in which he kind of saw a lot of potential in me.
Mhm.
So he wanted to have lunch for me, I believe the following week, right? Just to sit down and have lunch. So I took the offer and I had lunch with him, and he wanted me to, he saw what I was doing. He didn't want to take away from my business, but
Mhm.
he wanted to use me to add to his.
Wow.
So what that did for me was that allowed me to fill up my calendar in 2019, and I
Wow.
was able to do multiple weddings of all cultures, from him, and that grew my business tremendously because, mind you, as I'm doing these weddings, I'm posting them all on social media, as
Mhm.
far as, the stories, or just on my profile, and people like my friends and the people
Mhm.
who I'm connected with is seeing it like, dang, okay, you can do that, do
Yeah.
that. And then I worked with this guy, 2019 through the pandemic, and then I was able to kind of just leave him and just do my own thing from there.
Wow.
It's just been amazing. So, um,
Yeah. I love it. I love it. I know that we talked about the journey of just, DJing and um your highs, but I know that you've had some kind of lows as well. In this business of entrepreneurship, it's always going to be highs and lows. So, can you tell me how did you get through those moments? Because I know you said that you had to get your mom to front you the money, and the finances wasn't, sometimes always the best. But so, what was that journey like for you of just trying to overcome those low moments in entrepreneurship?
man, to be honest with you, just luckily for me, just having trust in God,
Hmm.
and really understanding that this was a passion first. Like,
Yeah.
that meaning that money really wasn't anything that I really cared about during the time of that grind, Kenya. So
Hmm.
I did have a 9 to 5, so that took care of
Yeah.
my bills, right?
Mhm.
And as I'm still working through the grind and the hustle of making my dream come true, excuse me, through it was like a 3 to 4 year struggle, and I just prayed a lot. I was able to luckily have a wife who stood by my side, and who gave me the help I need and encouragement.
Mhm.
And it definitely like was hard at different moments when financially I felt that things weren't going to work out, but
Yeah.
like God kind of saw me through it. And like I say, once I literally, it was like like that January of 2019, like once that happened, like it was minimal lows, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. Like going from that point, it was like God kind of saw.
Shifted real
He
quickly.
shifted so quick,
Yeah,
and
I love
it
it.
and it was just solely kind of depending, I think, on my faith and
Mhm.
trusting him, and just knowing, in myself too, just like knowing that, hey, I'm not really in it for the money. This is the
Yeah.
passion.
Mhm.
So all the way up until I knew that it was time for me to break through and just leap out on even more faith. We can get into that a little later,
Yeah.
if you will.
No, absolutely. So I know that DJing, I don't want to say that it's a new art, or a new art or things like that, but going into this thing, what are some things? Give me like two things that you want people to know about DJing so people can be prepared, like before they get there. Like, what's two things that they should know about DJing?
Great question. The first thing that people should know is when you're ready to perform for a crowd,
Mhm.
you're not take everything that you like personally out
Mhm.
of the window. You
Yeah.
know, you have to not entertain yourself. You have to entertain the people who are you there to, to hire to do the job, right? So
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
if you're doing a high school prom, if you're doing um a wedding of Hispanic descent or something like that, they don't want to hear everything that you hear in your headphones. You have to
Yeah.
be very, very mindful of just your music selection. That's
Mhm.
the first thing. The second thing that's very important is the equipment, and not to necessarily um rush on doing big events just because you may be asked to and you're not ready to. So just to kind of understand, because that can really hurt yourself and your brand. Like, I was educated enough, luckily, to understand, like, once I first, like, going back to my sister's graduation party, and I bought that little piece of equipment. I
Yeah.
understood that I can do a backyard baby shower, but I
Right.
couldn't do a wedding at that moment. You see what I'm saying? So,
Yeah. So
like,
it's a journey.
it,
Levels to this.
absolutely, it's
Yeah.
definitely levels, and it's definitely a huge journey. And
Yeah.
it's a lot of resources that are out there now that will allow you to kind of take those necessary steps. Like, I know for me, I didn't at the time know anyone, at least of my kind, that I
Mhm.
can kind of join, with
Wow.
open arms and kind of have that big brother. And which is why I'm now doing that. I have
Okay,
a vision in
good.
which I have, I'm looking for different DJs here and there who has the same inspiration as I did once I was starting off. And now I'm able to, even if they don't have the proper equipment, I've built my
Mhm.
inventory enough to kind of send them off with my equipment to kind of get them to grow,
Oh,
in
that's
an aspect
good.
until they get their own. Absolutely. So yeah, so those two things, as far as just knowing your intelligence, as far as the music selections that you do on these events, kind of do
Mhm.
your homework on that, and then just understanding the proper equipment that you need to have to fulfill, your client's needs. Now, if you're just now this is solely just depending on, what you're hired to do. Now, if
Yeah.
someone just asks you, hey, if you're doing something for your grandmother and you're not really getting paid for it, and everything is just, a hobby to invite it, then absolutely you could just use your phone, use
Yeah.
your, just kind of just branch off and just and learn the art. I'm not taking away from anyone who just want to start somewhere and learn the art, but when you want to try to make it a profession, I think those two things are extremely important.
Yeah. I always ask this question to everyone because Loop is all about living in their purpose. So tell me, what's your definition of living in your purpose?
Living in my purpose, I say, is to, as far as my definition,
Yeah.
um like, I'm faith driven again, and
Yeah.
it's all about, not necessarily doing things that you want to do, but making sure that it's in God's will. And
Yeah.
if you're able to kind of take what's in his will and then find a passion within that,
Mhm.
then that's absolutely living within your purpose for sure. Because then you will just be able to just, like, you know, go forth, leap out on
Absolutely.
faith, do what you need to do, and not have any regrets, because you know that that you have a relationship with God in which He's giving you the willpower to do what you need to do, and then you have all the strength that you need to kind of live through it.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I always say when it comes to purpose, purpose is so um needed, and then it's also kind of chaotic. So let me hear me out when I say that. um,
Yes.
just because when you're doing something and you may not always feel like oh my goodness, I want to do this. You know, even though it's your purpose, it's your passion, but you always come back to it. Let's just say that, you know, with me with this magazine, or even media all together, I can be away for 3 or 4 years and still have a itching, itching to go back to
Mhm.
media and going back into doing things like that. I don't care how long I'm gone, it's always I'm gonna come back to this point. So that's why I say it's kind of chaotic, because it's like it's always something that's in you that's always like tapping on you, like, hey, but you have this over, you have this over here, and you need to do this. And so it's always a great reminder of where you're supposed to be as well. So I love your definition. I get it. I'm so excited about, you know, like I said, I enjoyed you at Renika Park. I was like, yo, I'm like, yo, this is some good times. I haven't danced like that in a while. So I'm excited. Let's shift gears quick.
Mhm.
Your father, we are, you know, Father's Day is well, will be in June. So tell me, how important is your relationship with your children? As you know, as being fathers, we see so many people bash fathers and things like that. So tell me how important it is for you to be in your children's lives and just being that father figure for them.
To me, it's extremely, extremely
Mhm,
important. I have a son that's 7 years old. He's
mhm.
turned 7 in January, and I have a daughter who will be 4 on July 4th. So she's 3
Okay.
right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, for me, it's extremely important because me growing up, my father was kind of in and out of my
Mhm.
life. You know, he's currently incarcerated right now.
Yeah.
My father has been incarcerated since I left to go to Central State like that summer. So he's been away now for 20 plus years.
Wow.
Yes, yes, still to this day. And even growing up, you know, from I remember times when I was probably, I think he first went away when I was maybe 3 years old, all
Mhm,
the way up until that time he was kind of in and out. But you know, when he was out, you know, he was in my life, so I was
mhm.
able to, you know, not to take anything away from the
Yeah,
mistakes that he
absolutely.
made. You know, like when he was able to be there, my dad definitely was, you know, and he was you know, when he could be. It's just some of the habits that he couldn't break that led him to kind of be away from the time that he was
Mhm,
in. So you know, as that, you know, I kind of look you know, at certain peers of mine, right? Like for instance, people like some guys who I, or one guy in particular who I went, you know, to high school with, right? And I see his journey. He had his father and mom in his house, you know, probably his entire life, right?
mhm,
So I see the different steps that he took, you know, and how he kind of, you know, prepared himself a little bit better than I say that I did. This is
mhm.
just from my eyes, you know, from the outside looking in from
Yeah,
my
absolutely.
lens. And, you know, I kind of always took, I want to say I was always like upset at the way that I was brought up just by seeing how he was able to do that. And that was a main thing that allowed him to excel, you know, and
Yeah.
as quickly as he did. So
Mhm,
you know, as I, you know, I'm blessed and highly favored now in my life, but during that time, I really kind of understood then once I saw how my peer was able to excel faster than I was able to, and he's a couple years younger than me. That right there allowed me to understand how important that I need to be a father to my kids. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And not necessarily take away from their freedom or things like that, or
yeah.
be an overbearing dad, but
Mhm,
just to understand the importance of just me being there for them is important. So I I definitely take um what word am I looking for? I definitely take pride
yeah,
in being there for my kids as much as I can be, for sure.
yeah. I am a daddy's girl, like, to the core. I'm a daddy's girl.
Are you really?
I am, I really am. So, I know you have a daughter. Is she like she got you wrapped around her finger?
Wrapped. I
I
can't.
bet, I bet, I bet.
I yeah, I discipline my son you
Why do
know,
we do that? Why do we do that,
frequently,
Ron? Why do you
frequently, you know, I make sure that he understands what he needs to do.
Yeah.
My daughter could do no wrong in my eyes.
Oh, Ron, you raising something now. You raising
I
something.
know, I know, I know, I know, I know, I know.
But I love it though. I love it. The fact the reason why that I love it so much is because I feel like the father for a daughter and for the son, but really for the daughter, our fathers are the first men to really love us, like really love us. Really like do things for us. Like, when I met my husband, I had to stop, but you had to compare, like my daddy don't do this like this.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
That's
like, I don't
hilarious.
care who your daddy is, but it's like, I had a high
Yeah,
standard, because
huge.
it's
Yeah.
my daddy. Like my daddy, it's just, so I love the father and daughter dynamics when it comes to, just women. You look for your daddy to do a lot. So
Mhm.
in your case, what is one thing that you want to teach your daughter? I know she's about to be 4, but what are some things that you like, one thing that you do wanna teach her, uh, as she's growing up?
I wanna teach her, that, you know, that daddy will always be here for you. I mean, that's
Yeah,
nothing to really teach, right? She kinda understands that.
yeah,
But yeah, I just want her to know, that she can do and be anything in the world that she wants.
yeah,
Um, definitely. And I want her to, to be able to excel in practically anything that and what she wants to do without any barrier, being,
yeah,
that we are people of color and we understand the history behind that,
absolutely.
to absolutely make her understand, that things are out here in the world and not be oblivious of what's out here, right? But at the same
Mhm.
time, to understand that she can excel, through anything that she like to, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, I love it. So what do you have coming up? What do you have going on that we can probably, that we can support?
Oh, definitely. A couple things actually. For the month of June is going to be a really nice month for me. I got hired to pretty much be the my company got hired to kind of be the entertainment for the Village of Broadview Juneteenth Fest.
Okay,
So I believe we have Friday, Saturday, Sunday on the big stage in which myself and another DJ of mine will be hosting the I think they're celebrating the 50 years of hip hop. So we'll be
okay.
putting on a couple of hip hop mixes, for the crowd. I invite everybody out to that Juneteenth event, which will be in Schroeder Park, Friday, June 16th, Saturday the 17th, and then on Father's Day, I'm gonna be
Wow.
on the stage by myself. So that's something that I'm celebrating Father's Day. I'm having my family come out
Wow,
and
that's good.
support me on the stage as I'm spending, for the community during that
Yeah,
time. Another thing that I have rolling is I just recently a couple months ago I just became GATA certified, and I created a non for profit which is called Future Tech Leaders.
okay,
And what we doing right now is we're coming up with different programs to give back to the youth in the Chicagoland area, starting in my community, which is the Proviso
mhm,
Township community. and
okay,
we're and I'm going to be giving free DJ lessons. We're going to be teaching kids how to use the cameras properly, and we're going to even teach them different instruments that they want to learn how to play, to kind of show them that there's ways for them to kind of make money other than just the corporate America, that there's
yeah,
different trades out here that they can kind of use their hobbies to pretty much explore and grow through their creativity, just
yeah,
like I was able to do. So that's something that I'm We just got it rolling on the ball. We just created our website, but everything
Wow.
is certified and legit. So I'm able to talk about it, with you
Yeah.
right now. And
Yeah.
we're definitely going to be rolling out some programs and giving back to our community right away this summer, starting probably at the end of June, right away.
Oh, I
So I'm
love it.
yes, that's something that I'm definitely excited about. Because like I said, as far as teaching, people who want, who don't even know that they have a passion into something, and it's not their fault. They probably just doesn't have the outlet to
Yeah.
even know that this is there.
Yeah.
So me being able to give that to them, have them come into our area, and show them different things and kind of, let them tap into their
Yeah.
creativity, then hey, I could have maybe 10 different DJs now who can able
Absolutely. That
I
can
can
be a
just sit it out.
business. That can be a business within itself.
That's kind of the idea there, Kenya, right?
Yeah.
So I do have my wedding business, in which um one of the reasons why I was able to do this full time is because I don't necessarily call myself or consider myself a wedding DJ per se,
Mhm.
even though that like I am a DJ, but I consider myself a an entertainment broker, right? So
Entertainment broke. I love it.
right. So therefore, like I'm able, right, an entertainment broker who so happens to be a good DJ.
Yeah.
So I obviously I broker out myself,
Mhm.
to do different weddings. I actually broker out different DJs. I have live bands, I have coordinators, I have cameramen, videographers,
Mhm.
photographers, so I have, I'm like a one-stop shop to whereas if you have any type of an event other than weddings, corporate events, private parties, and you just need different entertainment, I can provide that for you if that makes sense, right? So
Yeah.
that's how I'm able, or that's how I market my business now, opposed to just Ron Steele just being the one DJ, right?
Yeah.
So having this non for profit is gonna, if it's in God's will, is gonna enable me to, find the talent in which I'm training and then funnel them through my business and just have them just, you know, go out and work for sure. So I can be able
Yeah.
to sit home and spend more weekends, with my
Yeah.
wife because I want to say she's been suffering, she's definitely been, benefiting off of what I've
No,
been able to
now
provide.
say suffering a little bit, say suffering. Sis, you've been
But at
suffering.
the
All right.
all right, but at the same time, I can be able to, lend more time, to my
Yes.
wife so that we can be able to, do more than just the date night once a month. We can kind of up that to
Yeah.
maybe 3, 4 times a month, right? So
I
she can
love
be
it. I love it.
yep, yep. So that's what we
No,
have going on.
I love it. Please keep me informed on how I can help. Like, I would really love to help, so let me know how I can.
Absolutely, absolutely. Your husband is definitely on my radar for sure.
Oh,
I
good.
we talked a bunch during the Renika's wedding, so that's how we kind of came acquainted. We kind of exchange information. So we follow each other on all platforms, and I'm already loving the way he's putting together certain videos. His TikTok is pretty much awesome. He kind of understands that language, so so I'm gonna
Shout out
definitely
to my husband. Shout out to
yes,
my husband.
yes. So I'm definitely gonna tap into him, and we're gonna do some work together for sure. So,
Good, good. So how can we follow you?
okay, you can follow me a couple different ways right now. I do have a couple of different Facebooks. You can follow my business on
Mhm.
Facebook at DJ Ron Steele Music Magic Moments Incorporated, and you can also just follow me as that. That's my company. You can also
Okay.
just follow me as a DJ, DJ Ron Steele as well. That's two different pages. That's on Facebook, and then on Instagram, I'm DJ Ron Steele there, and TikTok the same as well at DJ Ron Steele. So those are my main three platforms. I do have a YouTube as well.
Okay.
You can find it on DJ Ron Steele. I only created as of right now one video content in which I do have a studio here now in my basement, so I do plan on finding time once I get my non for profit going and I can be able
Mhm.
to send, different people out to events that'll free up more time for me to be able to create more content to kind of give to viewers to understand of how to, run a business successfully and be able to leave your 9 to 5,
Yeah.
and all those different, um things that are out there for people to kind of see and grow based off of it. So yes, my YouTube is as well as DJ Ron Steele. So yeah, those platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube for sure.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ron, for coming on. I appreciate it. I think this is the first of many for you, I know, and it'll be first of many for me as well. So I appreciate you for coming on,
Thank
for just giving us wisdom. I loved it. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Kenya. I hope I did well enough to kind of make the cut or whatever we got going on. I
No,
really
you asked
appreciate
you the cut. You the cut, Ron. You the cut. You the cut.
I
You are the cut. No,
I
I
appreciate that.
appreciate it. I wanted somebody that really understood what I was trying to convey in my first cover back. So I do appreciate that. We're gonna get some headshots real soon, Ron. So
Yes.
I'm about to send my husband over there to you.
If I need to make a trip to Maryville, I'm able to.
Okay,
I'm
let's set that up on offline. Let's set that
All
up.
right, for sure. I appreciate that. Yes, yes, yes.
No, but thank you. I appreciate it. You guys, this is the first edition of us coming back. We have so much going on. Make sure you go follow Mr. Ron Steele. I'm telling you, I had an amazing time at my friend's wedding. I danced a lot. And as you can see, he's just not a DJ, he's an entertainment broker, right?
Yes.
Yep, entertainment broker. So you guys go follow him. Until next time.